Hello and welcome to DLTV. My name is Robert Heron.
And I'm Rowlett.
Welcome. Welcome.
That was a lot of coffee. Hey, welcome. Thanks.
Yes, it has been one of those, 6, 7, 8 shot espresso days, I think, already. But yes. Here we are.
That, and I should definitely take my own advice and not drink on Wednesday nights before the show.
I won't talk about what I was up to last Wednesday night, but last Wednesday's show was kind of rough for me personally. But
we're making it through.
I try to be a professional about these things. So anyway, on this week's show, we have our coverage of the Makers Faire. If you don't know what that is, do stay tuned. It's pretty cool. It's technology and I'd have to say crafting and
lots of crazy goodness.
It's a fascinating fair that I think people should check out if you can. And also, we're going to take a look at a pay-per-view video system from Yahoo that you can now watch, I guess, pay-per-view content via the web, which sounds pretty cool. And our very own Brooks has his list of some pretty cool websites that I have purposely refused to know anything about. I don't want to know anything. I want to be surprised. We have 4 sites to check out. We're going to take a look at that later. But first, Tech Pick of the week.
Which one?
This one is actually brought to us courtesy of Warren from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And he is presenting his tech room, so to speak. And he goes, let's see. He has his home-built AMD computer right there. That's based on an AMD 3200 Plus. The 2-monitor box is a Dell XPS 4 with a P4 at 3.2 gigahertz. And there is actually a Prepare for Y2K poster that he liberated from some bank's dumpster, supposedly back in the day, which was... I also am appreciative of this virtual... Oh, there it is. The Y2K prep form. Oh, that brings back memories. I was in a different place and time. Well, of course, obviously. But anyway, he liberated that from the bank's dumpster after the event didn't happen. And he also claims to love the show. Now, talking about what we're actually looking at here, we were curious as to how he put this together, this kind of interactive picture, you can, so to speak. But, of course, he basically, let's see, he got the full room pick. It's essentially a QuickTime VR file that he's created using the QuickTime VR tools that are available at Apple's website. And by taking a series of pictures, you're able to then stitch those together to create this virtual
I think this is pretty amazing because, you can even look at the floor. It looks like, there's some shadowing there and you can, see the roof with the ceiling fan and everything, but it looks basically
you're giving the magic up, man. No, but exactly.
You're sitting here in this room.
If you're curious about doing, a file like this, you can visit the Apple website and check out QuickTime VR under their technology section. That's pretty cool, though. Thank you, Warren, for putting that together and for showing off your gear. Of course, please, if you have a tech pick to send us, do so at dl.tv@ziffdavis.com with the words tech pick in the subject line so we know what to expect when we open that email. And please do. We'd love to see how you use technology or technology that is around you. Brings us all together. Anyway, this past weekend, my assistant producer, Sam Arbizo, and myself, we attended the Makers Faire. That's actually down in San Mateo, California, down at the fairgrounds. And here is what we saw.
Hey, we're here at the San Mateo County Fairgrounds for the 3rd annual Make Zines Makers Faire 2008. This show is really a combination of not only arts and crafts, but also lots of cool technology and tons of hands-on, get your fingers dirty kind of fun. Great for families, great for kids, and there's some terrific food. I can smell it cooking right now. Let's dive inside and take a look around.
Okay, Jesse? Yeah.
The project is called Orb Swarm, or Swarm. We have 4 here. There are 6 total. They're semi-autonomous rolling robot vehicles. They're designed to be sort of a robotic performance art. Right now, because of the confined space that we're in, they're remote controlled. We're controlling them over a Zigbee remote.
Is there a way for the individual units then to interact with each other autonomously?
That's what we're working on. We have one of them has a faster processor board on it and has a GPS and an IMU, and we're working this summer towards making them semi-autonomous so that they can interact with each other.
Could you tell us a little bit about the vehicle right behind us?
Well, this is an entry into the DARPA Urban Challenge. So the primary goal for the vehicle is to be able to drive itself in traffic situations in an urban environment.
Now, compared to the original Grand Challenge that was an outdoor, through the desert type of navigation, the Urban Challenge really was a city-like environment?
Exactly. It was an abandoned Air Force base. They had probably 35 other robots at the same time, but also professional drivers in cars going through normal sorts of traffic situations, four-way stops, merging into moving traffic, that sort of thing.
What sort of technologies are required to create a vehicle that can do that kind of navigation in an urban environment?
Well, we have GPS for our primary navigation. We have inertial navigation to tell us which way we're going. We could also use the roll, pitch, and yaw on it if we were a performance vehicle, but the Scion XB doesn't get that fast. We have lasers to tell us if there are any vehicles around us that we need to avoid, and we have a stereo vision camera to do sensing of lanes and that sort of thing. So, and it runs Java top to bottom all the way through the microcontrollers. So.
About how many computers are actually on board on a system like this?
We have a user interface computer just because our main computer is headless. We have all the logic is really going through one computer, which is just an EPM Mini ITX board. And that controls everything. We have a backup computer just in case we have problems with the main computer, and then we have a couple of microcontrollers. Any
plans upcoming for where this vehicle will be appearing or performing in terms of, is it doing any more navigation anytime soon?
Well, we will be at Java 1. We'll be in Sun's Pavilion for that, and we'll also be in the keynote on Friday with James Gosling. Aside from that, nothing. This was more of an opportunity. We're like, wait, Makers Faire this weekend? Absolutely. So, and we just play it by ear when we have opportunity.
That's terrific. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I am talking with Jim. He is a founder of Tech Shop. What is Tech Shop exactly?
Tech Shop's a membership-based workshop that people can come and access all kinds of tools and equipment and workspace, as well as a community, and work on all sorts of crazy projects, whatever they have in mind.
In terms of, is it a craft-based organization where people can come in and basically have access to what kinds of tools?
We have milling machines, lathes, welders, sheet metal equipment, laser cutters, vinyl cutters, sewing equipment, plastic equipment, wood stuff, just everything that you can imagine.
Is it people looking to start commercial endeavors, or is it really just hobbyists, or is it a mix of all of the above?
It's a mix of both. We've actually spun off a bunch of companies already where people use Tech Shop to develop an idea and test the market, and then they go out and actually set their own thing up once they've tested it. But there's lots of hobbyists too.
Nice. In addition to, you were mentioning CNC machines, laser cutters as well. What are some of the other more interesting, I think, items that are in use in the shop?
One of the more interesting, unusual pieces is the hot wire foam cutter. It's computer-controlled, independent tables on the X and Y, or the two axes on the sides, with a piece of hot wire in between, and it glides through styrofoam and cuts out a shape. And that's how we did all the signage in the booth here.
As far as teaching goes, hands-on, is there any kind of instruction provided for new people that show up, or is this something where in the Tech Shop you should have a good idea of how to operate some of the equipment before you put your hands on it?
You can come in as a complete newbie. We've got a ton of classes that get people up to speed in a couple of hours, and then we have more advanced classes as well.
And it's located where exactly?
It's in Menlo Park, California.
2, 1. There goes Mark Rocket.
That was pretty awesome.
It was a great day at the fair. A couple of follow-ups to the video. We just saw I believe that was Mark Twain being lasered into tortillas.
On a tortilla.
That was pretty cool.
What's better than that?
For the warship segment that you saw there, those ships actually were remote controlled, obviously, but they actually shot steel pellets that were larger than BBs. We're talking like chunks of metal were flying, and everyone there had to wear safety glasses, and the whole floating, the whole pond was protected by plexi all the way around. But they were truly trying to sink each other, and that was terrible fun in my book right there. The biomass engine was that engine you saw running toward the end there. That was actually using a combination of basically taking all the waste material out of the process and being able to recycle it and to make it a clean engine technology. That was pretty cool. One thing we didn't have in that clip, though, there was a band actually playing at the Makers Faire. And I believe they were called Guitar Zero, but the cool thing is that they were using Guitar Hero guitars, like on your game consoles where it's like a Simon Says type game where you're strumming along to the beat. They were actually using those play guitars in order to make real music, using synthesizers and other equipment as well. Impressive, and I'm hoping we can get that video for you online, so if you want to take a look at the whole thing. But anyway, I have to say, Makers Faire is always fun.
Yeah, I am totally
the creativity involved.
Bummed that I missed that geekiness, all that good geekiness that weekend.
And the food.
Yeah, the food looked good. I'm thinking we need a Team DLTV battleship. That's what we need.
That was a surprise to me. I didn't even realize people were out there creating warships that actually could blow each other out of the water. Yeah. That's an alternative to video gaming that I think is like, I kind of like the whole model thing / blowing stuff up. Anyway.
Good stuff.
All right, I gotta move on.
UFC.
Yes,
UFC.
Ultimate Fighting Championship.
So last time we did March Madness, I think, when I was on the show, and now we're doing UFC, and I know what that's all about. But
sports, baby.
So Scott's a fighting fan. I'm not, but Scott can generally be found in his cube watching UFC when he's not working.
Please. He watches more TV at work than anyone I know, but for good reason.
But for good reason. He's testing it so that we can bring you.
Line. I'm sticking with it.
Yahoo was streaming UFC championships, and when he found out that they were doing that pay-per-view, he had to go check it out. So this video is going to show what that's all about.
A couple of months ago, Yahoo and the Ultimate Fighting Championship started a partnership to stream UFC events internationally. UFC President Dana White has said in many different interviews that he wants each fight card to be available worldwide. And his partnership with Yahoo, he is well on his way to having that happen. Another reason Yahoo streaming pay-per-view events is a good thing is that for those people without cable or satellite services, they now have an option. Currently, the only pay-per-view events are from the UFC. Yahoo does have an MLB package, but that's for another segment. Let's look at the player. The player is embedded into the web page. Stream will be in Windows Media. Quality of the stream will depend on what your broadband connection can handle. They offer a 300K, 800K, and 1200K stream. I was watching the 800K stream for the live event and have to say it worked pretty well. Also, the stream is 4:3 standard definition. The player does allow you to go full screen and was a bit stretched out on my HDTV, but that was due to the fact that the laptop I was using, a Dell Inspiron 1501, supports 16:9 and had said laptop hooked up to my 42-inch HDTV. Also, the picture scaled pretty well from the laptop to my TV. Had a bit of pixelation, but the pixelation was expected. Back to the player. Works best with Internet Explorer. Reason being, the player makes use of the ActiveX controls. I was unable to watch the live stream with Firefox. I had to switch over to Internet Explorer to get the live stream no matter what plugin Firefox asks for. Another reason you will have to use Internet Explorer is that when the pay-per-view is archived, the fast forward and rewind functions work only in Internet Explorer. All in all, Yahoo did a good job delivering the event. The pay-per-view was ordered in 50 different countries. However, the pay-per-view was not available in Italy, North and South Korea, Cuba, Iran, and the Sudan. For those here in the States, the cost is $45 and is a great alternative to cable or satellite. Once you've purchased the pay-per-view, you have a 24-hour period to watch. So you can watch the live stream and then go back and watch the entire pay-per-view again, or just the individual fights that you enjoyed. For DLTV, I'm Scott Asnall, and back to the show.
Let's give it up for Scott. He was really sick that day, but he did a great job. Woo, Scott! Yeah.
What was the cost again if I want to watch pay-per-view?
$45 online.
$45 for just one fight?
You have a 24-hour period to watch
It is pay-per-view material, though.
Yes.
So, okay. If you have no other way to do it, there's an option for you.
Streaming TV over the net is coming too if they're offering pay-per-view services.
I'll admit to being a fan of Ultimate Fighting, cage fighting in general, because you can't judge any of these fighters based on appearance. I mean, you've got some of the skinniest, wrangliest looking people get in that ring, and suddenly they're just dominating. Like you're like, open up a can of whoop ass. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, coming up after the break. Brooks, our very own Brooks, has 4 websites that I know nothing about. So please stick around.
Turn to PCMag.com as your trusted source for product reviews and news, buying guides, timely e-newsletters, and special features. We will help you make informed decisions and advise you on a wide range of products from desktops and printers to HD TVs and digital cameras. At shop.pcmag.com, compare prices from a multitude of vendors. PCMag.com, your independent guide to technology.
I'm Danica Patrick, IndyCar driver and GoDaddy girl. I know a little bit about speed, so take it from me. If you want a fast way to make a name for yourself on the internet, GoDaddy has everything you need. GoDaddy got me online fast, and they can do the same for you. .com names as low as $1.99. When you have something to say it at GoDaddy.com.
Plus, as a DLTV viewer, enter the code DLTV, that's DLTV, when you check out and save an additional 10% on any order. This is not applied to renewal products, discounted or bulk domain names. Get your piece of the internet at GoDaddy.com. Thank you, GoDaddy, and thank you, Danica, for having a new ad that we're showing.
And her first victory!
Woo!
Fresh back from Japan with a victory under her belt, man.
It's good stuff.
And my man, Dale Earnhardt Jr., spun out. He was going to win the race last week, folks. I just have to. I'm still mourning this mess of the race last week. Anyway, before we get into the wonderful websites that Brooks has discovered that he will bring to us, our very own assistant producer Sam Morbizo had a chance to check out the Green Office from our friends at Office Depot. Let's take a look at that.
I'm here speaking with Yalma Siddiqui, the Director of Environmental Strategy for the Office Depot Greener Office, and can you tell us what this is and what exactly Office Depot is trying to accomplish?
Absolutely, Sam. So we're trying to build this whole notion of a greener office such that a customer or an individual trying to go green at work or at home can basically buy everything they need in a greener option. But what we did for the retail channel and by extension, every channel is repackaged a lot of our products into one consistent look. And that's what we're launching. We're launching Office Depot Green. It's a whole range of products. First, recycled content products. If it's minimum 30% post-consumer recycled content, they'll be bright green, this bright green shade. If it's minimum 90% recycled content, it'll be dark green. So we're helping, the people who really want the environmentally leading products can pursue the dark green items, and it's relatively few dark green items, but the majority are targeted at the mainstream. A greener option for everyone who has a desire to make an environmentally preferable choice in their day-to-day work life.
So can you tell me about some of the products that you have that help to reduce power consumption of all the electronic devices that I know all the viewers have?
So if you've got a computer that you've left on for a long duration and it's not actually drawing power, this power strip will shut off power to the laptop or the computer. But what's really innovative about this device is that it also has a series of other plugs that are linked to that master plug. So if there's no power being used by the master, the computer, it'll recognize that and shut off the master. At the same time, it'll shut off every other linked device. So your printer, the phantom power for the printer, the fax machine, etc., will all be shut off. So again, really clever little device that saves energy costs and helps people reduce their carbon footprint, which many more people are being concerned about these days. But there's lots of sensible things. You can be who you are today and still make some greener choices, some of which will save money, and maybe that's all you do. You just do the ones that save you money. But if you want to move forward and bring green into more of your life, there's a lot of products. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you can implement practices that don't require purchasing. Simple behavior changes can make the difference.
I have to say it's pretty cool. Office Depot now has their green book catalog as well that actually makes it super simple. Everything in here is either reduced chemicals, Energy Star compliant, recycled products. Good. It's just good to see businesses jumping on the whole recyclable, environmentally friendly, and so on initiatives. It's making it easier for consumers to, make better choices about the products they buy. And I'm not pimping Office Depot anymore. I do like them. They're a good company.
They are a good company.
I bought a great desk from them one time. I'm still using it. Yay! Anyway, that's that. Websites.
Right. Cool websites.
What do you have?
What website goodness do we have today? All right, so last time I did the show, I dragged on a little bit, so I'm going to sort of fly through these. All the lower thirds will be there, and they'll be in the show notes. But a couple cool websites that I found recently. The first one is called makeuseof.com, and this webpage has pretty much anything you can ever want when it comes to how-tos or top 10 lists or utilities to make your hardware better, your software better. They have a blog and all kind of stuff, but if you go to blog and you see the top 20, you'll just see all these kind of things. One awesome Gmail tip that you didn't know about, 100 portable apps for USB stick, things like 20 tools to make your iPod better. Anything you can dream of is basically on this site, and I found a really cool uses for a lot of things coming from this website. So I would say definitely check this out if you're looking to do how-to things or DIY stuff, or if you're just looking for, the top
Very
list
cool.
of things.
Should almost be named how to make, better stuff. Or something. Anyway.
The second one I found is Widgets, I think is how you say it. Widgets. And what this is, it's actually a really cool marketplace sort of auction thing that it's almost like they've taken the idea from MMORPGs like, Warcraft or Final Fantasy and taken that sort of online auction or auction
eBay?
setup. Or eBay, but they're targeting directly towards eBay. You can set this up so that you can make money by adding things, by changing the descriptions of items on there. But the cool thing about this is it keeps a running tab of the market value, so you're looking for a Wii. It'll show you what the market value is. It'll show you the last change over time. It'll show you how many people have viewed it. You can look for reviews, people blog about it, discussions. You can upload things, pictures, video, whatnot. You can buy or sell this, so you can keep that in your list. You can list a price that you would pay for. Like if you click here and you say add to your watch list, this will come up. This little window will come up, and you can say how much do I want to pay for this. And if a Wii ever gets down to that price, it'll notify you. You can buy it, or you can do the same with selling.
It's hilarious that a $250 Wii
is $340.
$340. Wow.
Market value.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
That's an unreal product.
The other cool thing is add to dream list, which is sort of just like a wish list. You can do that. Also add to gift registry, and it doesn't look like I'm logged in, but yeah, you can make your own gift registry.
You can guide the purchasing decision of the people who care about you the most.
Exactly.
I want this. Pretty cool.
Yeah, so the next one that I found is called Natuba, and as you can see, it's basically an iPhone photo sharing site. So I'm going to pull it up on the iPhone, and this is a very, very sad day for me because I have to send this iPhone back to New York.
Save your pennies.
Wait a minute, speaking of new phones, didn't you get
Finally, I bought a new cell phone.
Right,
well, the phone I've been waiting for finally was released, but
you've been asking for that since Patrick had hair in his head, didn't he? Didn't you?
Oh.
Love you, Patrick. I'm just kidding.
Let's see, my last phone I bought in 2003. That's all I'm going to say. It was about time, and I want to leave it there. I'll get into it later.
All right, so
anyway, Natuba, the iPhone, what can I do here?
Natuba.com. It's basically social networking with your iPhone with pictures. If you love Twitter, if you love Facebook, it's sort of set up the same. It's kind of hard to see, but you can scroll through, see what people have added pictures, it'll take you to the last picture that's come up. You can rate it.
It says something about ninjas?
It says Icon has ninjas, maybe? Yeah, IS 10 ninjas.
If I see another lolcat thing, I'm just going to... Oh, never mind.
So it is set up, though. If you're familiar with Facebook or Twitter on the iPhone, it'll show up. It shows up a lot like that. And also the very cool thing about this is, other than the fact that it's social networking, you can do this surprise me button, which, I don't know, you can kind of see. Basically, you hit surprise me, and it'll bring up sort of a random picture.
Well, maybe still.
Yeah, and then you can
okay.
add your friends, and you'll see what pictures your friends update. I don't know. I kind of like that because.
Does this link in with any of the photo sharing sites, or is it strictly its own entity, and you use it with the iPhone itself?
This is still in beta. It's pretty new,
Okay.
and so I'm hoping that they move towards photo sharing sites like.
So this would be
Flickr
ideal
and
for people
Casa.
who aren't necessarily sitting in front of a computer very often,
Right.
but they carry that iPhone with them everywhere.
Yes,
and you want to have a good photo sharing experience.
And who doesn't carry an iPhone around with them all
Please.
day?
Please, you elitist bastard.
All right, and the last one.
iPhone wielding. I appreciate the iPhone. Where's that 3G model? Where's the HSDPA model?
June 15th. It's coming.
Where's 120 gigs of storage or a
It's
media
coming,
card
it's
slot?
coming.
Now I'll get the hate mail. Here it comes. Anyway.
So the last one I checked out, speaking of Twitter, is this site called Twiststory. Twiststory.com. And what it is basically is if it's...
Minimize that window a little bit so we can get it all on camera there.
There we go.
There we go.
How about that? Yeah, that's good. So if you like Twitter and you like wasting time, then Twistory is definitely the site for you. Because what it does, Twistory's good too, but basically goes out and it aggregates all the tweets in the tweetosphere. I don't even know if that's a word, but it is now. You heard it here first. But it takes words like I love and I hate or I think or I believe, I feel, I wish, and you can see it just scrolls up, and it's actually really interesting. You can get lost in there just reading people's thoughts and things I wish for. You start to see patterns, like on Mondays it's always I hate Mondays, or around Wednesday it's always I wish it were Friday. But there's some really cool things, and you can tell that there are a lot of sort of tech-minded people in here because they start talking about things like retrofitting and... I know, that's the only thing is you can't scroll back. So it's like, it's complete stream. You got to keep going, and that's why you kind of get stuck because, you keep reading this kind of stuff. But
Stream of consciousness?
Stream of consciousness.
And or just diarrhea of the mind.
What's better than diarrhea of the mind?
Yes, I am wasting lots of time today.
Yes.
Pretty cool though.
So those are my websites for today. I hope you like them.
Social networking. I'm a loner.
I don't even know you, Robert.
Wait a minute, I'm not. Pretty
All right,
cool,
so
though.
we got a viewer question. Our first viewer question is from Jack of Colorado. He's wondering if there's a Linux distribution he can recommend for his non-technical parents.
Oh, heck yeah. Hardy Heron, baby. I had to say that. Anyway, the brand new Ubuntu release has just appeared. It is Ubuntu 8.0.4, a.k.a. the Hardy Heron. I love that name. Anyway, I just want to say that I feel this is truly the best release of this free operating system that's currently available or has ever been released. So anyway, I actually am running it right here, and just to say that a couple of the reasons why I feel this would be an alternative to, say, a Microsoft operating system or an Apple operating system. One, the cost, and it runs really well on older hardware, but little things like the preload of software that's on the default CD install of this is pretty comprehensive. It includes, by default, your photo management software. So if you plug in your media cards or whatever, you can import those images, tag them, etc. It includes GIMP for your Photoshop style like editing. It also includes OpenOffice, if I can get the pop-ups out of the way, but OpenOffice for not only just drawing, but also the full Office suite, including everything from email clients to your OpenOffice presentation spreadsheet and word processors as well. Sound and video, by default, it has a good selection of apps in there for everything from iPod support on up to your movie and music players as well, and also for extracting and ripping CD audio. However, I find it very easy just to install VLC for general support for a variety of different format types, everything from watching DVD videos to a variety, just about every format under the sun in terms of audio and or video files that you'll encounter on the web. The benefit, too, of Ubuntu, one of the big things that I really appreciate is installing software and finding software. Typically, what you do is you enter this add remove section, give this just a second to pop up. But this is part of what they call the Synaptic Package Manager, and this is just a simple interface that allows you to search for tens of thousands of different applications. Now, like I just mentioned, VLC or Video LAN Client, I just simply go to the search bar built into this and just type in VLC, give it a couple of seconds, it's going to go out, and of course it's going to show that it's already installed. But at the same point, rather than me going to a website and trying to find that file and figure out how to install it within a Linux environment, I could just check that checkbox, hit apply changes, it takes care of that for me. The operating system also checks online regularly for automatic updates and maintains itself pretty dang well. It also supports some cool graphic features, too, if you're running on a more powerful system with better graphics hardware. Things like wobbly windows. And what's a wobbly window, you ask? Here, let me just wobble the window a little bit. Multiple desktops, too. This is just, you have, by default, you're given 2 blank desktops here to fill up with a variety of different applications, making it real easy to switch back and forth here. I can actually open up a picture so you can get a better idea of what I mean by this. There's our, the wonderful Nerf chain gun. And we're going back to our package manager. But also, for the software that's available, you can literally browse through this, type in anything you can think of in terms of either maybe a photo app, a game, or something. Odds are somebody has an open source version of some software you're looking for right there. It makes it real easy to add it. If you don't like it, same reverse process. Uncheck the box, apply changes, tears it right out. I haven't ran into too many gotchas with this yet. It seems to support all the hardware that I've ran into so far. It works really well with a variety of different graphics cards, sound hardware, CPUs, single core, quad core, whatever. It works really well. And Firefox is the default browser. So you have, in my opinion, less problems in terms of being affected by malicious websites and things like that. Anyway, I think if I was going to introduce a parent or anybody really to an alternative operating system, I'd give the latest Ubuntu version a try. And of course, we'll be getting to that more and more. I don't know what I'm doing here. Stop.
I'm all about the wobbly windows.
Wobbly windows rock. And I have to enable some of the more advanced features that give you, like, I think we've demonstrated this before, but you can do like special effects like fire effects. Your entire desktop can be a cube or any polyhedron. Polyhedron? Yeah. That you can just rotate and, if you're into multiple desktops and stuff like that. Anyway. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Question 2?
Question 2.
All right, question 2. Our second question comes from Devin of Michigan, USA. He asks, why do 720p HD TVs have a screen resolution of 1366 by 768? As you know, the 720p specification only calls for 1280 by 720 pixels. All of the 1080p panels do not oversize the image like the 720p panels do. Why would the HDTV companies choose to do this only on 720p models?
Yeah, they were tired of... I can say a bunch of different reasons. One, it was also, this is mostly, you find this with LCDs and plasmas, flat panels in particular, that 1366 by 768 resolution. They did that because if you had a true 720p resolution, 1280 by 720, it's slightly less than 1 million pixels, and I think they were tired of making that clarification. It's like, we have slightly under 1 million pixels. We'd rather have slightly more than 1 million pixels, so we'll just bump it up slightly to 1366 by 768. It also has a lot to do with simply how they cut the mother glass, or the original 10-foot by 10-foot sheets of glass that they actually create these panels out of. The sizes that are available today for all flat panel HD TVs are really determined by the absolute size of that mother glass and how it can most efficiently be carved up into smaller displays. It just probably worked out to the advantage of that 1366 by 768 got them the most efficient cut from that original sheet of glass as well. But I think more so it's about having to say, like, we are 1 million pixels compared to, say, 1080p resolution that is a little bit over 2 million pixels. So
that makes sense.
Marketing more than anything. But anyway, no fear. And regardless of what the native resolution or the pixel count of any display is, it will usually accept a variety of different signals and format them to that display's actual resolution anyway. So it's just something to keep in mind.
Good stuff. Yeah. Good show.
Ooh.
We got one more surprise.
I think so. The giveaway. The lawyers have finished grinding through the paperwork, and we have to announce the details for our latest giveaway, the Neuros OSD. This is a media center style product. Look at that little handsome device. It is a low power computing device that's run off of an ARM processor. This will also accept media cards. It connects to your TV and your home network and allows you to stream all sorts of content, transcode video to your iPod, decode a variety of video formats, and because it's open source platformish, there's a lot of cool user support enabled with that. How do you get this wonderful product?
How do you get it?
Well, there's 2 ways to enter. One, you can create that 20-second video that is basically a question. Send us, how are we going to do this exactly? We're going to have you create a 20-second video about how you would use
how the Neuros OSD is going to enhance your home theater system, basically. You can either post us a 20-second or less video or a 50-word or less email with the subject line Neuros OSD giveaway. And basically the subject of either will be how will the Neuros OSD enhance your already existing home theater setup.
Yeah. we're really curious about how you would use a product like this, and that's really what we're trying to get out of it.
Yeah.
And, of course, to get your video responses and your email responses. So please do that.
And anyone whose email we do use, believe it's email or video. If we'd use it on the show, we are sending you guys a T-shirt. So
please tell us what size it's in. Otherwise, we're going to get you the, I don't know, the Vippy top.
We have
the half
4
shirt.
XXLs.
I'm going to send you a half shirt by default, unless you tell us otherwise. The belly shirts. Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind the belly shirt. It's okay.
Not on me. I'm dressed in black today. Anyway, all the info is going to be on our site, of course. Please do check that out at dl.tv. And please, thank you and good luck.
Yeah.
Ask Lloyd.
Oh, yes. Coming up next week, or not next week, coming up on the 29th of this month, May, that is, our very own Lloyd Case is going to make a return appearance to answer even more of your tech questions. I have to say, since his last appearance, what was that, last week?
Yeah.
Time is irrelevant to me.
It's a lot.
The questions have flooded in recently, and we have a lot of great questions already, but please feel free to send us another email, or send us an email, period, with your questions. In the subject line, do put Ask Lloyd, and mail that to dl.tv@ziffdavis.com.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Also, one more thing before we go. I don't know if we mentioned this on the show or not, but we do have a new show out. It's called What's New Now. You should definitely check that out. It's at what'snewnow.com. We are airing our 4th episode, I believe, tomorrow, which will also be starring me. So. I got a busy week this week.
Also, I know Lloyd isn't here to mention it, but they finally launched the Extreme Tech website. If you haven't checked it out, go to extremetech.com, and the redesign is awfully pretty and high performance, I must say. It just pops right up.
Very nice.
And I'm sure when Lloyd gets back, we will dig into that a little bit more as well. That's it for this week's episode. I want to thank you for watching, and please come back next week. Until then, take care.
See ya.